Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I'm creating a Watchman's Prayer Junk Journal inspired by Jesus' call to keep watch in Matthew 24:42. Do I have that one here? Yep. And Ezekiel's Watchman in Ezekiel 33:2 through 6, which I probably have in this stack somewhere here. This journal is going to be a place to record prayers and moments of spiritual vigilance using everyday junk and some beautiful Stampin' Up! Products from the 2025-2026 annual catalog. It's beginner friendly, budget conscious, and perfect for reflecting on staying alert in faith to the end of days. So let's dive in. I'm going to start with the cover. And so what I have here is just a piece of old scrapbook paper. This is going to be covered up, so it doesn't matter what you use. I did use the heaviest weight scrapbook paper that I did have in my stash. One side is white. And again, just doesn't even matter. So I am using my paper trimmer. And I'm using these two pieces from the Country Woods Designer Series paper. Because this piece right here is cut to 12 by 9, so 12 by 9, when it's folded in half, it's going to be 6 by 9. For my cover, I am going to need to use 2 sheets of this. So half of this is going to be 6 by 9. Yeah, 6 by 9. And so I need it to be longer than 6. So I'm going to make it 7 by 9. So I want to pull this out and cut this off at 7, or not 7 by 9. It's going to be, actually, I want it this way. Let me think. So if this is 7, then that's going to be, oh my goodness, I'm having such a hard time figuring out. So I'm just going to fold this to help myself. Okay, so this needs to be cut at, because this is going to be covering it, so this needs to be cut at 10. So I'm going to cut this off at 10. And I should have cut them both because they're both going to need to be the same 10. So let's cut this one off at 10 as well. Great, save those 2 pieces to use somewhere else in the journal. Then this is going to come over the side about a half an inch and also around the I want to say binding, but that's not it. It'll come to me. So because this is 6, I'm going to cut this at 7. I have it straight this time. So cut to 7. That way I have, oops, sorry, I knocked the camera. Alrighty. So we're going to put this on here like that, within half an inch all the way around. I will be doing a sew-in binding. That's fairly simple to do, and you can use embroidery thread. I'm going to be using a wax thread. So let's see, where am I at in my notes? All right, so let's go ahead and get my pages together. In here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and that's probably plenty. So that's going to go in there like this. Yeah. Now let me get some clips. So flowery page is the middle. All right, get this out of the way. All right, so let me grab a ruler and I think this ruler has it has 0 in the middle. So I know that this is 9, so I can go with 4.5 down here. And then 4.5 up there. So at the 0 mark, and then I'll just come down 1 inch. So about there. Ooh. So, yeah, 1 inch from the edge. That looks quite different, but Okay. One inch from the edge of the cover. So what I was going for, let's see, can I still see my center there? I can. So I have this wax thread and this is a pretty big needle. I think it's too big. So 1, 2, 3. And if we do 4, we could have maybe some tassels hanging down. 3 is enough. If you do 3 full lengths, that's plenty long enough to do this type of stitching I'm going to show you. But maybe this is why I have that other needle there. All right, so the first one is going to be right there. I'm going to grab this and this, and I'm just going to poke it all the way through right there. Lovely. Now, in the end, I will probably cover all of this with some lace or something to kind of protect this. And then we'll come up through here. That worked out well. Don't go too tight at first. And I'm going to pull the thread this way and go through the same hole again. And I need a hole right there. And now you can start to pull it a little tighter. And then this is where you tie it. So I went through the center and I left my tail. And then I went back up through the top hole, through the center, making sure not to split my thread, down through the bottom hole, and now you'll tie it off. I want to check the lengths here. This will be that long. This is plenty long enough. So I'm going to wrap around that top piece and tie this off. Really simple. You can tie it in a bow, you can tie it in a knot. I'm gonna tighten it just a little. And before I tie that off into a knot, I'm gonna make sure that I have this as tight as I want it. That's good enough. And there you go. Binding done. So this is our take your pick tool, and I will have that linked as well. And so this will give me lots of length there if I want to add any beads or anything. I'll just go ahead and make those even. This gives me a lot of room to work with, and I'm just going to leave those long for now. And as a matter of fact, if I want, I could tie a nice big bow so it's not in my way as I'm working. That way I know I have all that leftover string to work with later. So I can take this off and this off. And then, so you can see that this isn't perfectly even. Like I said, I'll probably just cover that. So why don't I grab my box of lace, see if we can add something on there. Maybe even a piece of sari silk. Oh, that would look nice, wouldn't it? Okay, I'll just add that piece of sari silk. And for this, I'm going to use Fabri-Tac. I'm going to add this right on there. So I'm just going to use my finger to rub that around a little bit. Otherwise, those lines will show through there. The glue is going to show anyway, but that's not very straight, is it? Eek. It's very stringy. That's a little more even. Not too much more even, but oh well. Okay. And, ooh, I didn't leave myself enough room to lift over there. I did leave enough there, so I'll go ahead and cut this off. We'll just do a little fold over. And I'm just kind of stretching this to see if I can get enough to fold over. I don't know. I'm going for it. Right on the very, very edge. There we go. I think that'll work. All right, so I have these extra pieces here, which I could turn into pockets. So that might be nice. So let's go ahead and do a couple of pockets. One for in the front, one for in the back. That'll give us something to decorate later. Okay, so let's see. This is probably going to be about... So the space I have to work with is like 5 3/4. So I want to give myself a little gusset. So 6 1/2 and then another half. So 6 3/4 is the length I want, or the width I want. Six and 3/4. Save those. And then I want my pocket to be, let's see, about 3 inches tall. Yeah, that'll work. So if I want it 3 inches tall, I'm going to cut this at 3 1/2 because again, I want it to be gusseted. A 1/2 inch gusset all over the way around. So we will, actually, no, I want to do it this way. 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch, and 1/2 inch. You know, I think I have a video on this Franken paper, but I'm not so sure that I've ever uploaded it. So I guess I'll need to when this video gets uploaded. So again, I'm just gonna chop that off at the corner. And then this will get glued in like that. I'm going to add a little notch with a circle punch, and the size of your circle punch here just doesn't matter much at all. Just kind of eyeballing where the center is, but of course, if you're more particular, feel free to take out your ruler. Let's add a little ink to the edges. And once I decide to do that, then I'm probably saying that I'm not going to cover this inside anymore. And I think I'm good with that. All right, so we're going to glue the bottom down first. And then the sides. And there we go. So I think what I'd like to do now is put one of those verses in here. So Matthew 16, 2 through 3. He replied, when evening comes, you say it will be fair weather, for the sky is red, and in the morning tomorrow it will be stormy, for the sky is red and overcast. You know how to interpret the appearance of the sky, but you cannot interpret the signs of the times. So at the time I'm making this, I'm not really sure how I can share that PDF with you, but I will figure out a way to share that with you, so that if you want to make your own Watchman's Journal with these scripture verses included, then you can. And I think I want that flower stamped on here behind this. So we'll grab that stamp set. Gallery blooms. It's starting to get very messy over here. And that, I believe, is early espresso, so I'm going to use the same early espresso. Okay. Well, that didn't come out very well, but I can cover that up with the scripture, just like that. And I might want to put a backing behind that, but I think I'm good. An extra layer would be nice, but in the interest of time. All right, so I have several other scriptures that I've printed off with the same font. And so I think I might go ahead and get those cut up and kind of sprinkled throughout the journal. We'll also need to decorate the front. Find some tags that I've made to put in there. But let me just take you through what we've done so far. So we made our cover, did the binding. This is a piece of Franken paper, notebook paper that's been coffee dyed, copy paper that's been coffee dyed. This is a packaging insert. So I could, because it's wide, I just folded it so I could make a pocket out of this, or I could, you know, just fold that out for more writing space. I'll leave that until I decide later what to do. This is a playing with my new printer. I was able to print some graph paper. Nice clean white page there, coffee dyed music paper that was extra wide, extra tall, so it does stick all the way out to the 6. And then I just folded this up so I could make a pocket there. Avocado dyed paper, a piece of paper from a motifs book. And then these are the other sides of the other paper. So, and then I have this extra piece. Oops, I think I cut one to the right size. Maybe I didn't finish cutting that to the right size for the pocket. Does it look like the right size? Yeah, maybe it is. So there's that. All right, so in the next video, I will be showing you some more decorations and starting to show you how I'm using it for my journaling on watching and waiting and being alert to the end times and prophecies. Until next time, take care.